Welcome to Podheim, Jiroc's Valheim podcast. Let's give him the business.
Hey everybody, today is November 19th, 2024. I'm your host Jiroc the Viking, and joining me today are my fellow Vikings, Gwen the Shield Maiden.
Hello. I am way too cute on that picture compared to real life. With the lookalike Grogu in the background. It's so cute.
Yeah. Well, we also have Shield Maiden Morning Darkness with her highlights.
Oh my god!
I loved how it did your hair. I just told it she likes to have like color streaks in her hair. Let's see what you got.
Oh my goodness!
And then we're going to have Viking Vaste, but he might be joining us later. But in the meantime, we have a new Viking Vaste, so hopefully he can join us later.
He graduated from school and looks a bit older.
Yeah.
From the previous picture where he looked like a little puppy. So cute.
Yep. Okay, well, here we are. What do you guys think of your CGI selves that ChatGPT actually generated these? I thought it was kind of fun since Gwen said she couldn't be on video today and I had to make one for her, I decided to make one for everybody.
Wild. Absolutely fantastic. And I'm getting a suggestion that like maybe I should change my hair.
Oh. Well, yeah.
I love the backgrounds.
Yeah. Well, first I let it do the background that it thought it should do. And then I told it, well, Gwen has like a baby Grogu and a Viking shield. And I told it to throw in like a sci-fi helmet. It didn't do the helmet, but it did give you like a little guitar clip off there. I guess that's what it thought was good for that.
Oh, you know.
Yeah. All right. Well, so real quickly, let me just switch us back over to our regular selves. Woohoo! Hey.
Without the beard. Boo.
I know,
right?
I miss it.
I felt fooled.
Yeah, especially now that it's coming on winter, my face is definitely colder. And then, of course, we have Gwen again, but she can't be on video today. And Morning Darkness, let's see. Boom! Oh. There we go. With the computer in the background glowing. All nice and shiny. Okay, so here we are. We're back to our normal selves. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
So real quickly before we get on with this podcast episode, last month we actually recorded an episode and I had a hard drive failure. I spent a whole day trying to recover data from that and I could never quite recover the video and the audio that we recorded. I have the audio from all of you because you guys all record your audio separately, but there's no audio of me and none of our video. And all the fun pictures that we shared. So,
oh no!
I know I was so heartbroken. I must have spent like 8 hours trying to recover it. It was a full day of like heartache when I finally gave up. I was like, it just isn't going to work. But hopefully things are working today. And Gwen's recording it back up too. So,
yeah. And to be fair, in like almost 80 episodes now, it only happened a handful of times, like maybe 2-3 times that I can remember that we had like major issues.
Yeah.
So,
well, we have a pretty good track record. Yeah. Think kinks we have to work out for future events too, Gwen. Wink.
Yep.
Well, before we get into all that, MD, can you give us a little preview of what's coming up?
Yeah, so we'll be talking about the new Bogwitch update and the 2 patches that have come out since its release. And one of them is going to fix the big cheese for crafting, which has cracked me up, not gonna lie.
I've enjoyed it.
We also have 2 special guests joining us today for an exciting interview.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to get right to that. But before we do, of course, if you need a server for Valheim or any other game, make sure you save 10%. No reason to pay full price. Just use my link, jiroctheviking.com/gportal. All right. And well, now that we've said that, I want to introduce our 2 guests today. We have Bjorno and B Vitamin. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
And it just occurred to me, Bjorno, where in the world are you broadcasting from today?
I'm from Denver, Colorado.
Okay. Denver, Colorado. And B Vitamin?
I'm from Europe, Hungary, and
Okay.
Budapest, the capital.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. So amazing how Valheim brings together community from around the world for this common thing that we all love and enjoy spending so much of our free time doing. Well, great. So before we get in to that, one of the questions I love to ask guests, because it's just how they came up with their online alias. Each of us sort of has a different story for how we did that. Mine stems from an old Viking short story that I wrote probably 30 years ago. But Bjorno, can you tell us, how did you land on that as your online alias?
There's a couple different headcanon reasons for me, but the official reason was because I love Sweden. And if you look up Brno in Sweden, it's a beautiful archipelago. Islands, it's gorgeous. If you guys have the chance and you're in Sweden, go take a hike there. It looks beautiful.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Yeah, I'm hoping that we get to Sweden someday, which will relate to some other things we'll be talking about today. And B Vitamin. Beautiful camera, by the way. Is that a high-end camera phone?
Not really.
Looks great though. So how did you come up with your name?
Well, that's a kind of a funny story. So I was a huge World of Warcraft player, and I took a small break, and when I came back, we came back together with my friend, and so we obviously wanted to create a guild together. And I don't know, it just randomly popped in, like it would be hilarious to call it pharmacy for some reason. And then I just randomly went with B Vitamin, and he went with C Vitamin, and then it all started. I don't know. It's so random.
So you had a bunch of Vitamin players in your guild?
No, actually, it was just two, and then
just the two of you.
Yeah, that's right. And it just stuck. So everyone just calls me B or Bvid.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. I love hearing these funny stories because, we just land on them in random ways. I know, like, I've been gaming forever and I've used various different names over the years. Probably many of you have, but one sticks, and it's just the one you get, you keep using, especially when people start to get to know you by that, like a community somewhere, right? Like that's who you become. As a matter of fact, when I met Kondo in Australia in September, I went to Australia. We were walking through a night market and he was calling me. He wanted to get my attention. He wanted to show me something at one of the stands. And he said, Jiroc. And there was so much noise, I just completely ignored it. And then he said my real name. And then I turned and I said, well, nobody has referred to me by Jiroc in public, so that's why I didn't respond. But okay, so you guys both enjoy playing Valheim, but you both have done some things like outside of the standard game. All right. Like, can you tell us a little bit about the things you've done outside just playing the game itself?
You want to go first, B Vitamin?
Sure, I can. So basically, most people who may be familiar with the name B Vitamin usually knows it from Kaizen's ROMs. I used to be an admin there, or like a moderator and an admin, an in-game one. I still am on Twitch. And we have done various events, and that was a bigger one, which you guys have all participated in, if memory serves. That was the All-Star Hunger Games. That was like a huge thing that I did. In my opinion, it took a lot of effort, of course, but it turned out to be such a fun event, and I think everyone enjoyed it, and it was a huge success as well. So that was one of the biggest things I would say that I've done, kind of like outside the game, so to speak. But still in the game, and there are like various other smaller things. But yeah, those probably are the biggest ones. But yeah, I just do love the game and enjoy every aspect of it, really.
Awesome. And what about you, Bjorno? Besides just sitting there by yourself in the dark caves of our rooms playing Valheim, what else have you done in the community?
In the Valheim community specifically, I'm the leader of the Planeswalkers. I have a pretty decent sized Valheim community. We do a lot of events, PvP tournaments, live build contests, you name it. We probably tried it. Outside of Valheim, I used to be heavily involved in the RTS scene. I used to cast professional StarCraft games. So I'm pretty keen on the competitive side of gaming, and I guess that's kind of where it's segued into where we are now with Planeswalkers with the events that we run. So a little bit about myself.
Nice,
Cool.
nice.
And the Planeswalkers community has been around for, I think, almost as long as Jiroc servers. If I remember, it's been a couple of years, right?
So I'm just going to come out and say it that Jiroc, you were a huge inspiration for us.
Oh.
I know when Valheim first came out that your videos were a guiding light of sorts, kind of got us, diving into Valheim and the nature of the game. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's so good to hear. I mean, I just had so much fun making videos, and once people started responding or getting something out of it, it encouraged me to make more. And I know I haven't put out as many videos lately, but I've been playing like crazy since the Bog Witch update has come out, and have excited to maybe make some more videos. But I'm glad that they, if any of them helped and inspired more people to enjoy Valheim, then that's awesome to hear. Okay, well, that's awesome, guys. And so today we have a big announcement for something that's coming up early next year. And it's called Val-Con. Obviously a play on Valheim, Valheim Convention. It's the first ever global Valheim Convention. That's a fully fan-led convention. It's going to be streaming for 24 hours over on February 1st and 2nd. And I think we're going to be streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. Is that correct, Gwen?
Yes.
Yeah. And it's going to have, right now we have over 50 content creators that are showing interest and starting to submit content. We have some modders that we're going to be talking to and hopefully doing some demonstrations throughout that 24 hours. We have community managers, and these people are all from all over the world. That's what's great about Valheim, as I mentioned earlier. It's just like, it's everybody. So you get to make friends from, not just our hometown, but around the world, which is just one of the great things about being alive in this age of technology. So the Val-Con is going to include all kinds of events throughout the 24-hour period. There's going to be interviews. There's going to be panel discussions. There's going to be special content created by various content creators. So, like I said, over 50 content creators, and you may or may not know all of these content creators. So it's also a great chance to get to learn and about some of the content creators that you may not know about, or some you may not frequent as much. And something that you guys hopefully are going to be able to talk to us a lot about is that there are going to be multiple servers with like an in-game convention center where people are going to be able to do meet and greets. There potentially could be some really awesome builds that people have done, and events and more. So Bjorno, can you tell us like what your contribution is for this event, like for Val-Con? What are you doing for it?
So as creative director, I'm kind of overseeing the ideas and the design and the implementation of those ideas. Basically, when we came together to create Val-Con, we had a vision for where we wanted to go and what the goals were for that. And I'm just kind of here to not only bring the ideas and to brainstorm new things we could do with it, but making sure that we stay along that path of what Val-Con is. And that's pretty much what I do. I do a lot more, and we all kind of wear multiple hats, but currently that's where I'm at.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I would add also, you and probably Viva Tivin are the two people who really instigated this whole project a couple of months ago, if not maybe a year ago, right?
So I don't know why, but something just told me that now is the right time to get the community together and celebrate the game. And February 1st through February 2nd it's more than just us just picking a date. It's essentially, it is the birthday of the game. It came out during that weekend in 2021.
Yep.
So it's more than just celebrating the community. It's celebrating the game and everything around it. And I approached B Vitamin with that vision, and he brought that to the masses, and that's brought us to this point.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you guys stepped up and had that idea. Great minds think alike, because Gwen and I talked about like the potential of trying to do a Valheim fan convention, maybe closer to the 1.0 release, and maybe even trying to do it in person. But I think that you guys had the great idea to do a virtual one first. And it's a great test run of a Valheim fan convention. Plus, with it being live streamed, and everybody around the world can sort of participate and follow along with it. So that's awesome. Well, B Vitamin, what are you doing specifically for the Val-Con convention?
I think, just as Bjorno mentioned, it's really a combination of many things. Officially, I am the social media and community manager. Which mostly includes, reaching out to people, getting the whole community together, managing Discord, for example, and of course all the social sites as well. There's a lot of work to it, and it really kind of just intertwines what we do between each other. So it really is a team effort, and it's a great team for sure. And I just wanted to mention that when Bjorno reached out to me with this idea, obviously that was after that we've done that All-Star Hunger Games, and then it just clicked. I don't know, Bjorno, if that kind of inspired you or not, or like if it had like a small nudge to this direction. But that's one of the things where we try to get the community together throughout the content creators, and that personally that gave me the idea to actually try to make it happen, and just to put all the effort in as much as I can, and I'm really happy to have the team behind me, or like behind us, or like that we're all in this together, and we made so much progress. It's unbelievable. So I'm super hyped for the whole thing already.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, the All-Star Hunger Games was a lot of fun, and I thought really well organized and put together event. And then seeing you guys come, to meet myself and everybody else with the idea to do Val-Con, I immediately thought, yes, they put on a great event there. Like this will be fun. And like I've been following, you have a special Discord channel set up for Val-Con, especially for all the contributors and admin and content creators. And I knew like putting something like this on would be a lot of work and require a lot of coordination. There's a lot of people involved. Sometimes it could be like herding cats, trying to get people, but we're managing. But seeing everything that's going on behind the scenes, there's a lot of work being put into this, and it's really inspiring. Like I get more and more excited like every week as I get updates from Gwen, and as I'm able to attend one of the admin meetings and seeing just all the posts and emails come out. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot being put into this, and I'm really excited to see it come together. Gwen, go ahead.
Sorry, just one thing that one of the hardest things is funnily enough is that we all live in different parts of the world, and trying to find the time for some of the meetings is quite challenging.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad you actually called that Gwen, because she has been also she's been brilliant, and she has done so much work in the background that she can definitely tell you a lot about that.
Yeah. Gwen has amazing organization skills and has really helped make, I probably would have run from my community a long time ago, except Gwen was there to help me keep organized. So Gwen, can you tell us what you're doing for Val-Con?
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not on camera because I'm totally blushing right now. Thanks for the kind words. So for Val-Con, I think I got into the project pretty early on when Bjorno and B Vitamin put out a call on one of the Discords or channels that we used with all the All-Star Hunger Games content creators, saying, hey, we have this idea, we'd like to make it happen, does anyone want to get involved? And I was like, well, I've been dreaming about this event, this Val-Con festival, or Valheim festival, for such a long time. And also, as it happens, I do a lot of event management in my real life, both professionally but also just personally. I just like organizing events, I guess. So for me, I was like, oh, well, if I can help, I would love to be involved. And so that's really the main contribution from my side, is being kind of that event coordinator, putting all the pieces together, and also helping with all things kind of marketing and promoting the event and the comms side of things, for which I'm working with B Vitamin, who's also doing a great job on managing in the community, but also using all our socials and so on. So today, I believe, by the time this podcast will be released, we will have gone live with our first announcement that we all worked hard to get all the bits and pieces for. So you should all go check out Val-Con on social media and see what's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And so obviously I'm helping out with Val-Con. I jumped at the opportunity when they said, "Hey, Jiroc, are you interested?" I'm like, yes, me, pick me. I want to help. But yeah, so I'm basically using my filmmaking skills to help with the live stream programming. So basically that we have 24 hours of program that we need for the live stream. And, with Gwen and several other people's help, we're reaching out to people to find out what they want to submit. Some of them are doing like pre-recorded material. Some of them will be doing actual live streams during the event. And we hope to get many interviews and panel discussions going. We have many of those things already lined up, and we're getting more and more every day. So I'll be making sure that whole 24-hour stream runs well. So fingers crossed. And I'll be one of the hosts. We're going to have multiple different hosts to have like a discussion to help keep things moving along throughout the thing, to introduce each new segment, and just keep it fun and have someone to talk to about everything that's going on and bringing people on. And it's going to be super fun. And a few of us are even going to try to stay up the full 24 hours. Right, Gwen? Fist bump.
You can't see if I've done it.
But yeah, so that's going to be tons of fun. But MD, can you tell us, you're involved too. Can you tell us a little bit about what you're planning?
A little bit, yeah. So I had to get through my 4-year-old's birthday party, but I do have like a form half filled out. I want to put together a panel that talks about accessibility and gaming, and how indie games have really kind of set the bar for accessibility in gaming, and what things specifically has happened with Valheim. Like, there was actually a really delightful event that happened when Valheim was first starting to ask, like, hey, what are some accessibility features that you guys would like? And one of the devs ended up being in my Twitch chat during the time, and one of my community members has really, really bad tremors. Like, he hasn't been diagnosed, but like Parkinson's level tremors. And we were talking about, hey, what are some accessibility things that would work? And like, they just immediately connected and like had a whole conversation, and there were tears, and it was just like this really moving, touching moment that happened. That, so I want to share things like that Valheim has specifically done. And I want to bring other content creators who work at a level of, needs and accessibility, and like what kind of features that Valheim could improve on, as well as what they have improved on. And then the other, like, I think my biggest contribution so far is that Gwen gave me permission to invite as many Twitch streamers that I've been able to get a hold of.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, we need liaisons to help reach out to the community, because there's so many great people creating content.
The first day I invited upwards of like 80 or 90 content creators.
Oh, wow.
And then I've been inviting more. So I think at this point, I've been able to get a hold of about 100 different content creators who stream on Twitch actively. And that's just the people that are active. Like, I actually had to set parameters. I was like, okay, I'm not going to reach out to people who haven't streamed Valheim for the last like 2 or 3 months. And, unless they like specifically say, oh no, I'm going to be getting back into it, or this, that, the other thing. But yeah, no, it's been a whole thing. But it's been delightful to be able to have that privilege, to be able to reach out to the people that are so passionate about this game and be like, hey, there's this thing going on.
Well, yeah. So for anybody who might be watching or listening to the podcast or see anything about Val-Con through any of the other social medias, if you're a content creator, a modder, community manager, or have something that you think you want to contribute to the Val-Con, reach out to us and we'll see where it will fit in. And we'll be in touch with you guys, just like, MD has been reaching out to everybody. So, some people may be interested, reach out and let us know. But
I know I've missed a lot of people, but I'm
yeah.
trying.
Well, yeah, that's why we put the invite out there. So if you hear about it, reach out to us. But I would love to know more about the in-game convention that's going on. How will that work with servers? Will there be multiples of them? What can the viewers expect, and can they participate? Bjorno, B Vitamin, one of you feel like fielding that question?
So I could take that because I'm heavily involved with the in-game convention, alongside, of course, Stone Prophet. Shout out to him, and of course, shout out to Bo Jingles, Mr. Jingles, for helming the project side of this event, and Helga, our lead moderator, and all the people who volunteered that they're going to make this happen. But in-game convention, it's going to be essentially one server duplicated across multiple regions. Right now, we're looking at North America, Europe, and Oceania as the three major regions. There will be a modded and an unmodded convention server, so people who enjoy just the vanilla gameplay can still participate.
That's thoughtful.
Yeah, and
I know you probably, with your community, have you had that also, like where some people have a hard time with mods and other people are more into the mods?
I think that's kind of it seems to be a common issue among many different communities. You have your people that are really into vanilla and they only want that, and then you have the people that are like, I did vanilla and finished it 2 years ago. I need a new experience.
Exactly.
So you have to kind of field both, both sides if you want to make your community happy.
Right, and not to mention that there's now also a bunch of players that are console players, and enjoy. So it's this whole new community of console players that's discovering, or has been discovering, Valheim for the last, it's been a year now since the console release, I think. So yeah, our goal with Val-Con is really to make it as inclusive as possible and bring the whole community together. Whether it's the players who are on PC, on console, modded, vanilla, the actual mod creators and developers, the content creators, like really everyone who shares that love and that passion for the game. So we're trying to reflect that also in the in-game convention, right, Bjorno?
Yeah, and for anyone that can't get into the in-game convention, of course we're running the streamathon, so you could still be you can get up-to-date information on what's going on in the convention server, what events are ongoing, and the results of them. So in a way, we wanted to include everyone, and that I think we hit the nail on the head with that one.
Yeah, that seemed really awesome when you guys pitched that to me, because when I first heard like virtual convention, I thought, oh, we're just gonna do 24 hours of streaming and try to organize that with all the all the members of the content creation and modders and community manager, all that stuff. But then I heard, oh wait, they're doing an in-game convention as well. That's going to be so fun for people who want to, I guess they're going to be like signing up for slots and events potentially, so that they can have timed slots to join servers, because obviously Valheim servers, we all know, have limited capacity. They recommend 10 or less. We have mods that can increase that capacity, but still we can't cater to thousands and thousands of players in game. But if they sign up for a slot, which I guess we'll be announcing in the future, right? Because we don't have the time slots all figured out just yet, but hopefully we will in the future, and I'll have to keep an eye on the social media for that, right?
I can briefly, because we've come to a conclusion pretty much how it's going to work. It's just executing that plan. Our plan is to have a website that you go to sign up. It'll be free. We won't be making any money from this event. Everything that we get will be through donations if you guys want to help fund the next event or possibility a future in-person event. But they'll go through that website. They'll sign up through a window, which right now we're kind of hovering around the 2 hours, 2-3 hour mark. So they'll, 7 to 10 p.m. or 8 to 11 or whatever it happens to be. Will then allow them their space to get into the convention world without having to be like, oh, it's full and now I got to wait for an opening. We want everyone to be able to get in and experience it, and having that timed entry is going to keep people moving in and out of the convention world.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the timed, we've been used to that. I mean, I've been getting more used to having to schedule things for timed events since COVID. Like all the, even like just going to the local zoo, you have to sign up for a timed slot. Like you usually you used to just be able to show up and walk in anytime, but now you have to show up between your 2-hour window. And I think everybody's getting more used to that, but that's perfect, because we can only have so many people on, in a game server. And will there be like alternates in case like they weren't able to make the sign up, and say like 2 or 3 people don't show up for their slot? Will they be able to slip in? Is that something that might happen?
Yeah, we may look into like something like if you don't show up within like, I don't know, 30 minutes of your 2 hours, that spot goes to the next person in line.
Yeah.
Of course, the intricacies of setting that up will need to be further detailed, but
Yeah,
we definitely want to make sure that everybody gets an opportunity to get into the event.
cool. Great. And can one of you tell us a little bit about some of the actual things that we'll see on the server itself? Like if I log into the server, what will I see? What can I experience potentially? I know we're still getting submissions.
I can take over that. So basically, as you know, and as we've already mentioned, there's already over 50 content creators that have signed up. Most of them, probably most of them, will have booths, like in person or like in-game booths throughout the world, and there will be connections so that you can easily approach all of the booths. There will be also connected, so there might be a couple of booths that are in the same spot. So we're trying to figure out how that works, or how that's the best way for it to work. And then you can also see some of the monuments, as we call it, or like the big builds, that they're maybe famous of, or what they really liked and what they put a lot of effort into building. We try to convert all of those builds into the in-game convention as well. So there's going to be a lot of wonders that you really don't want to miss, and it's a perfect way to not only to meet with your favorite content creator, but also to get to know a lot more. Even though there might be a little bit smaller content creators, or even like big ones, you get the opportunity to be able to get to know them a little bit better, and of course their work as well.
And we'll also have some live things going on the convention server. Like we'll have a free build area where people can go if they get that itch, like I need to build. So you stay on the server, you go to the free build area with all the other people free building. You meet people there. Of course, you make connections to network there. And then there's live events going on. So there could be a live build contest going on an island somewhere, or a live PvP event happening in another area. Or maybe Dakar's doing a live panel where he's building something in the convention world, and everyone gets to watch and ask questions. And so there'll be lots to do on this one world.
That's right.
Awesome. Yeah, live building that during your time slot sounds like a lot of fun, and obviously meeting up with other people who are fans and/or some of the content creators in the game at their virtual booth, at their Valheim booth. I can't wait to see what people do with those. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yes, I think this is also something like which is it really just occurred to me. But like for example, there could be like potentially someone who knows another guy who is, for example, fan of Dakar, let's say, and they always commenting on their videos and whatnot, but they always never met, and it's like such a fun way to actually sort of like meet that other fan, and talk about the world or the content creator or anything, and it just gives you that opportunity as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people, and now I kind of regret it. And maybe we can do it in the future, but I haven't seen a lot of communities reaching out to other communities in Valheim for like mass events. I know there've been a few, and the Hunger Games was sort of one of those. It was focused on various creators. And I know we've gotten invites from other communities who said, hey, our community is running an event. We'd like to invite your community, and we're inviting a bunch of other communities. But like this Val-Con is really bringing people who play by themselves, people who play in other communities, bringing everybody together to finally meet. Like I heard of you guys, and I've seen all the things that you guys have done. And obviously I knew you were involved in the Hunger Games event, but like we haven't sat down and talked like this. And this is one of the things I love. And hopefully people, will get to meet all the different content creators and bring communities together and players together, and, get out of our little bubbles and see what everybody else is doing out there, which is really awesome to do.
Yeah. And of course you got players that you see them all the time on like the Valheim Reddit or Valheim Discord. They're looking for that group, but they haven't found it yet. So just giving people the option to network with communities, they may not be the biggest communities. Maybe what they're looking for is something on the smaller side. But just giving people the opportunity to meet everyone is from what I'm seeing, there hasn't been anything of this scale ever done. So this is a first.
And that is exactly the reason why we are so passionate about making this happen as well, because I think that's obviously a beautiful thing. And we are really hoping that it's going to turn out as the way we want to. And bringing all these communities is really, really such a cool thing in its own.
Well, yeah. And, live events are always tricky because just like anything in life, you always run into technical issues or problems. But the thing is that the community is coming together to attempt something like this. I think just that notion that so many people too have raised their hand because they want to get involved, are coming together to try to put something together, like regardless of how perfectly it runs or how many snags along the way. I think it's going to be exciting for people to, follow and try to either log into the server or watch the stream or meet new people. Like it's going to be an amazing first run of bringing people together and, teach us a lot of lessons for the next one. Cause of course we all know that Valheim is only at Ashlands. Ashlands plus Bogwitch, right? We got that big update, and who knows if we'll get anything between now and February, the beginning of February there for their anniversary, right? But we still have the deep north, and we have the ocean, and we have any other things that they give us along the way. So there's going to definitely be more opportunities for another virtual convention, especially at 1.0 really. I mean, I was like, we have to do something for 1.0. And then this popped up. I'm like, yeah, let's do this because we can learn from it, right? But 1.0, we have to figure out something to do, whether it be another virtual convention, an in-person convention, or a combination of the two, right? Depending on being able to, facilitate an in-person convention.
Yeah, that's a funny thing because actually the whole idea started out as an in-person event. Whether you believe it or not. So that's how it actually turned out to be. But along the way somewhere, we decided that probably for the first time, it's probably better to make it an online convention, just so people get to know about it and get to be familiar with the whole concept and of course the team, the content creators. So it's like a first step. But on the roadmap is definitely something. If you could do that, then that would be obviously the ultimate goal to make the in-person event.
Yeah. Oh, I'd have to save up so much money to go to that.
Well, yeah, it's a big trip, but would be worth it, I think.
Oh, we reached out to Iron Gate, just to go briefly on the in-person event. We reached out to Iron Gate, and they were interested in what we were doing, but they were to the point where they were interested enough to be intrigued, but not interested enough to be on board, in an official capacity. Yeah. So the idea was to essentially do a beta test, and that's where the virtual convention came into play. And if that goes well, then we do a second one. And if that goes well, then now there's sponsors involved and Iron Gate's directly involved. And now we're meeting in person instead of over the webcam. So
Yeah, it's a way to prove ourselves, right? Like we're showing, sponsors, we're showing Iron Gate, we're showing other people who are fans of Valheim, hey, it's worth checking out because look what we did, for that first one, and it can only get better after that because we've learned so much, right? So, yeah,
Right.
that's awesome. MD, you got I think a good question for us.
Yeah. So what is the for this convention, for the virtual convention, what is like the main goal? What are you guys looking to really kind of create and develop here?
Who wants to take that?
I can jump in.
Sure.
I feel like for me, at least in terms of what, in my hopes and dreams when chatting with Jiroc of like what we would love Valheim festival to be, it was exactly that. It was like actually getting to meet over either in person or online, or just spend time with the community and connecting with people, because I think we can all agree the Valheim community is something special. Like I don't think I've ever really encountered many other gaming communities that were so wholesome, so supportive, so mature. Like it feels like there's very little tension or toxicity, and everyone seems to just really love the game. And I think that's a lot, a lot to do with the Iron Gate team themselves and how like the love and the passion that they set for the game and the kind of whole environment that they set for us. But I think the community itself, whether it's all the players, all those people like you, Bjorno, and Planeswalkers, or Kaizen and Jiroc, and like all the content creators putting together those amazing community servers, all of that, it has just fostered such a great community. And I think we can all say that we've made such great connections with people from across the globe. And I think for Val-Con, that's really, as Bjorno said, it's really that it's a celebration of this amazing community. It's a celebration of the game that we all love, and our whole desire with Val-Con is to bring this community together and build more bridges where, people are well connected within the community, but some people might be very new to Valheim. Let's show them like how amazing this community is. Let's um, help content creators that are not necessarily very well known, give them a moment to shine and to get to be known within the wider Valheim community. And let's get the modders involved and the mod creators talking to each other and connected with the content creators. And there's some of that happens, or a lot of that happens on Discord or behind the scenes and so on. But I think we really want to bring that to the forefront and give that opportunity for everyone to collaborate. And we've already seen such amazing collaboration in the last couple of weeks that we've, I think, only opened up the Discord like a month ago to all the content creators, and only started like reaching out to content creators a couple of weeks ago. And already I'm seeing content creators who had never talked before collaborating together on content for Val-Con. And submitting content, like whether it's panels or fun events or fun videos. Like today I've seen a submission. I'm going to keep the names quiet, and I'm hesitating to say it because it's a bit spoilery, but two content creators are coming together to make a song about Valheim. How amazing is this? Like, I love that we are seeing these content creators getting together, brainstorming and like bringing their skills and their creativity and making something really special for Val-Con. So I'm really excited about that. And if this is happening, already now when we're just preparing the event with the content creators and the mod creators that are contributing, I can't even imagine, what it will be when we open the doors and actually all the players come in and get to participate and so on. So I'm really excited about that, like really seeing the community come together.
I just hope that our love for the game comes through when Val-Con finally opens its doors, and maybe even after it's said and done and people are left with lasting impressions about Val-Con. I hope that our love for the game and the community comes through, because that's all we want.
Yeah, and of course it can always improve as well, because obviously it's a Viking setting, right? And when we were first talking about the the live event. Of course, there's so much more to this. Like, if we can get there, there's so many things that we can add to it. For example, like Viking cosplay, or like live concerts with like bands, maybe from Sweden or anywhere from the world, really. So there's so many things that we can still build from this. So it's like a huge opportunity, and it's just so cool.
The other very selfish thing is I really want to get to meet in person all the people that I've made friends with really over the years, and
Yes.
I would love to have. I think that's the whole point of those big conventions, right? The gaming conventions and so on, is like you get to actually connect and meet in person with the people that you've been talking to over text chat or voice chat for many months or years. So.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about that too. If we can make that happen in the future, that's kind of the roadmap. And as Bjorno said, this first online event will be a good beta test. I'll say beta because I'm speaking British English. Sorry.
Well, so Gwen, how can people get involved? Both content creators, modders out there, community managers, or just players and fans of Valheim? How can they get involved?
Right. So as a contributor, so as a creator, so whether you are a content creator, a mod developer, or if you are the owner of a big Valheim server or community, or like Valheim sites, because we know there's a lot of really cool websites, and actually we have a lot of those people already involved, like Valhemians and the Valheim Seeds website and so on. Like there's a lot of people who do really cool things around Valheim that we want to involve as much as possible. So if you think you can contribute with content, with your mods, with your site, with your community, please do get in touch with us. We will, I'm sure, in the description, I'll make sure I'll ping Jiroc all our socials and stuff. So best way to get in touch is probably to get in touch via one of our socials, so probably Facebook or Instagram, or there's also an email address where you can reach us just to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm interested, and then we'll send you all the correct information, invite you to the Discord and so on. If you are not necessarily a creator, but you like the idea and you're excited about the idea and you want to contribute with your time, as a volunteer, we are also open to volunteers to come and help and especially moderate the event, because it's going to be a lot of things, right? Like there's the 24-hour stream, so we need a lot of people to help moderate over the course of that live event. And then we have a lot of things happening in game on the Valheim servers and on Discord and so on. So we already have like a small moderating team in place, many of whom are moderators from various big communities and content creators, and anyone who's involved in that space knows how important moderators are for anything going well. And big shout out to all the mods out there. So if you want to give it a go or help with your time in that capacity, there's also an opportunity to volunteer. And for that, I think we will have a form up on the website that should be live very soon. Stay tuned for that, where you will be able to register your interest, essentially, to volunteer and help out with the event.
Nice. And just to make sure that everybody understands, there's no cost to participate, right? I think you mentioned that earlier, Bjorno, but there's no to join one of the servers or to watch. None of this is going to be gated. We're putting this out there for everyone to enjoy. Everybody's volunteering their time, and we just want everybody. It's bringing the Valheim community together, no matter where you are or what your financial means are. Just come out and have fun. And like Gwen said, if you want to get involved with Val-Con 2 behind the scenes, then reach out to us and we can see where there's a fit for that. And
it's a big house party, open doors.
That's right.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah.
I love that so much.
And then so B Vitamin, where can people follow the latest news and updates for Val-Con as we progress and get closer to February 2nd?
Yep. So we are present on Instagram and Facebook, and also on X, and obviously we're on. We're going to be streaming on YouTube and Twitch, so you can find us there. There's also a link tree where it's like all settled. As Bjorn, I think you mentioned that we also have an email address which we regularly checking. So we're like super active, and that's something I wanted to tell you. Like we probably spend quite a few hours every day on the whole thing. So we're definitely checking it every day and probably every hour as well. And what am I missing? The website, yep, of course, yes. It's not yet fully done. There's still just a couple of more details that we want to add to it. But yes, there is going to be an official website as well, where you can find all the links, obviously, to all the socials and our email address and everything that you really need to know. There's going to be a description, the lineup, so you can see which content creators are there. So there's a lot of cool things that's also happening on the website.
Nice. And I was wondering too, is there a public Discord channel where just the fans can just join if they're interested in asking questions or following along with the excitement on Discord?
There will be, yes. Not at the moment, because we are not I think we're not yet ready to let everyone in just yet, but there will be a Discord. I mean, there is a Discord. Which we are going to make public, probably through a social post, or it's probably going to be on the website as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know some people really love Discord, and
yeah.
I think the only ones who don't really love it are the ones who haven't tried it yet. And I run into those people every once in a while. But once they try it, they're like, "Wow, look! You can chat, you can text chat, you can just stay up to date by reading posts that other people are discussing, in real time too." So it's awesome, an awesome thing that a bit of technology that we're all blessed with here.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. This is really exciting. Do you guys have anything else? Any closing comments? Is there anything you want to say to the viewers out there as we say, check out the socials and come visit us?
Mark your calendars.
Yes.
February 1st and 2nd. Clear your weekend.
Doors open February 1st to February 2nd. We'll see you there.
Yep. Hashtag Val-Con 2025.
Yeah.
Hashtag Val-Con 2025.
That's right.
And hopefully more 2026. 2025 at the end of 25. We'll have to part two.
2025.2.
Point two, yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing all the information about Val-Con. It's very exciting.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks again.
All right. So that was an awesome interview. I'm so glad those guys were available to come on. But now it's time to talk about Valheim and this exciting update.
Oh my gosh.
Morning. So I know you've been playing it. So before we get into the details, I have heard a few people and seen a few YouTube videos where some people say it's the biggest update Iron Gate has put out yet. Now, I don't know if it's like physically the biggest in programming, but it seems to have a pretty big impact. Like the Hearth and Home had a huge impact on how we played the game. What is your take on like its size and like how it changes how we interact with the game?
That is a very, very good question. It is huge on a lot of ways because it added some skills that people have been really, really hankering for a while. It's also added some features that are a huge quality of life improvement. And I'm not even talking about any of the new assets they've added. I'm literally just talking about the new skills that they've added and the bonuses that you get from increasing those skills.
Yeah, which I think we'll talk about it here, but they gave us more than they expected with one of them. They didn't intend to, right?
I have stories about that, but we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But in terms of like a lot of different things, I feel as though this update had as much impact on the food system, like in different ways, but in scale as Hearth and Home did when Hearth and Home released.
Yeah.
And like they changed the way foods were balanced. They added the oven. They did a whole. They changed so that you couldn't cook serpent meat on a cooking rack. You had to have the iron cooking rack. Like little things like that but it completely transformed the way the food system worked. I feel like the Bog Witch is as impactful as that.
Yeah.
If that gives you an idea of scale and impact.
Yeah. And Gwen, you've played it, Gwen?
Well, not fully. I have taken a long break from Valheim.
Well, yeah, you've been streaming a lot of other games lately.
I've been streaming a lot of games, and I think, I don't know, I really enjoyed Mistlands and all of that, but yeah, I got distracted with other shiny games, and Ashlands I knew would not be for me because it was so combat focused, I think, or at least that's kind of the impression it gave me. And it's, how I am. I'm a noob. I'm a very bad player when it comes to trying to survive or fight or anything like that. And I like Valheim for the chill gameplay, and Ashlands is not a chill gameplay. So I haven't even gone through the Ashlands content, and I was kind of umming and ahhing whether I wanted to do that. And then Bog Witch was announced, and that got me way more excited than Ashlands because it's not it's not a new biome. It's just an update to the old biomes. And to be honest, I kind of felt as excited when Frost Caves dropped, because it was revisiting the biomes that I know and love and that I'm comfortable with. Oh wow, it's making me sound really like newbie, right? But I mean, so it's like a revisiting an old biome and adding all these other aspects of the game, like with the crafting and the food. Like I know some of it. I haven't spoiled myself and read the full patch notes, but as you say, it's quite impactful, the changes. And so I thought that would be a perfect opportunity to start a brand new playthrough, which this opportunity came thanks to you, Jiroc, because you launched your season 7 of your Valheim servers with the Bog Witch update. So for me, it was like, okay, perfect timing. I'm going to start fresh, new character, experienced all those changes that Bog Witch update brought, and then eventually I'm going to make it to the Ashlands. But it was a good way to transition into that new biome also. So I have already started to see. So I'm currently at Bronze Age. I'm just getting into the swamps. I've done a fair amount of sailing because I wanted to find the locations of the traders. So I've done a lot of sailing. I've not rushed the progression or the bosses. I think I only killed Elder so far. So I've started getting into the swamps, but I haven't yet gotten iron. But I already see with the Black Forest and the meadows and the food system and the cooking, because now that I have bronze, I have my fermenter. I've noticed a big difference now. Is certain things that I could cook in the cauldron, I need now a different cooking station for. So that was a first thing where I noticed, and I saw what you're describing, Morning Darkness, with it. The kind of changes to certain things need new stations to be crafted or to be made. So that was quite exciting to see, and I am looking forward to see how that progresses also as I progress through the biomes.
So since you've mentioned that, I can at least spoil this much. I cannot express to you how much I appreciate that they have split the workstations for the food.
Yeah.
Because you have the cauldron for the foods that you cook and it comes out prepped. Like you make it and you can eat it. And then they separated the meads to the mead kettle, and then they added a whole bunch of meads, which some of them are a little interesting. Some of them are kind of funny. I really like some of them. Some of them I feel need a little bit of tweaking. But overall, I think that was a really good separation. And then they added the prep table, which is beautifully decorated. There are all kinds of different aspects to that, but it's all the food that you would need to prep and then cook in the oven. or the baits. So they did move I feel like it's a little bit of an interesting shift where they add the fishing bait to the prep table. But I do appreciate those separations, because I had gotten to the point where, since Valheim doesn't really have like a searchable function for the kind of food you're looking for, unless you mod the game, I was definitely getting to the point where it was hard to find the things I was looking for.
Yeah, I agree, especially when you reach that late game and you have to scroll so much to find your stuff. It does help to have it separated. And now now that you've said that, I knew there was a prep table, but I didn't unlock that yet, so I wasn't sure what it entailed. But I did notice that my fish couldn't be. I have found fish, picked up fish on the floor, as you do. I can't eat it yet because I haven't got the prep table yet, so I can't cook it. I will prep it and cook it. But I think that makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? Like you have your prep table where you cut things up and chop them and prep them for cooking, and then you've got the cauldron, and then the meats. I've noticed another kind of more UI or visual change that they've done to the meats when you prepare the meat and it's still like not yet in the fermenter. The meats now, the little bowls, the icon for different meats have different colors, and it's a lot more easy now to know which is which without having to read the text. Like the frost resistant meat is a bright blue, and so it's like a blue gruel type of thing in a bowl, and the others have, like, I think the poison resist one is green. Like, it makes more sense now visually as well, which makes it a lot easier to really quickly, if you've got like lots of unfermented meats prepped in a chest that you want to just sort out and do batches in the fermenter, that it's much easier to figure out which is which is good.
Yeah, I've been making a lot of meat lately. I love, like you said, the colors make it easy. I throw them all in one box because it makes so many of, like, 5 at a time or whatever, and you only have so many stations where you can process it. What is it called? The where you put the meat prep thing, the little bowl?
Meat kettle.
That's where you make it, right? That's where you make and then you put that into the
fermenter.
The fermenter. That's the word I was looking for. The fermenter. Yes. I'm like, I don't want to have tons of fermenters, so I need some place to store them. And now that they're all different color, it's easy to just see what they are. So lots of cool stuff here. Let's just talk about a couple of surface level. We're not going to, for those who hasn't experienced it, we're not going to spoil everything. We're just going to kind of surface level update. We're not going to go into too much detail, but this is obviously the image they put out, the illustrated version. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, yes, I love their illustration.
I have a thing. I have a lore that I want to share. So you have this Grey Dwarf Bog Witch, right? And there's actually a Grey Dwarf hanging out outside.
Yep.
The Bog Witch's hut. Do you know who that is? It's a very special, important named Grey Dwarf. There's a whole video about him.
No, but now I'm curious to watch the video.
It's George.
Is it George? Oh,
yes.
George! And what's the backstory behind George?
So there's, I believe it was Grimcore who has been doing little cinematic videos about different things about Valheim, and not specifically linked to Iron Gate, but there's a whole cute skit about a Grey Dwarf named George who maybe is seeking to find his place in the world. Well, I don't want to spoil it too much.
Yeah, don't really spoil it. But I know Grimcore has a YouTube channel, right? With these videos.
Yeah, but George the Grey Dwarf, I think you can probably just search for that to find the story. It's very cute.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I could be wrong on the credit for that, but that's my best guess for Anyway, it's a very fun little video. But yeah, so the Bog Witch's hut is so gorgeous.
Yeah, so I'm going to show a spoiler image. This is what the Bog Witch looks like in game. If you don't want to see it, it's all over the place. But now this doesn't even do it justice, because when you
No.
see how it's animated and you see the other thing that's moving around in her hut with
Uh-huh.
her, like the animation of this thing and its size, and you walk up to it, and it's like one of the coolest things I think have ever been added to the game. The art design especially and the animation are so cool looking. But you really enjoy just the all the decoration of the hut too, right? Like, isn't it great?
Oh yeah. No, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely every single little detail, like all the new things that she sells are all in the hut, decorating all the different places. There's so much depth and richness in that little hut. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it's cool. And Gwen, have you visited the Bog Witch yet, or not yet?
No, not yet. So I'm trying not to look too much at the image, because I yeah, I haven't yet. I am still searching. Well, because I'm playing on that multi-person server, I think one of the Bog Witch locations has been already discovered, but I haven't made my way to her yet. I think I want to be a little bit better equipped for roaming the swamps first. And but yeah, I will get there soon, and I am looking forward to seeing what she has to offer, but also looking at I'm looking forward to hearing the music, because Patrick Sam, the composer for Valheim, always does such an amazing job at bringing each of those NPCs to life. Like one of my favorite things that was added to the game was the Haldor, the Haldor song. Like, that is so good. And I'm sure he's done an amazing job again with the Bog Witch. I am really looking forward to seeing her, hearing the music and experiencing it, and also seeing all the things that I might be able to trade with her. And I'm also curious to see, and I know many of you probably already have the answer, but you know how when the Hilde trader was added, there was a bunch of kind of side quests and new objectives and things, new things to retrieve to be able to unlock the items at the trader. So I am very curious to see if it is the case also with the Bog Witch, in which case that would be quite fun. I love those like treasure hunt side questy things. Like, yeah.
So I got the what's that, Morning?
Not answering that.
So I've got the abbreviated patch notes up here. That obviously there's a huge detailed patch notes. I don't want to go into that, as it contains a lot of spoilers. But just real quickly, the new trader and trader location, of course, is the Bog Witch. There's new feast mechanics, which include 8 feasts, and now I'm not high enough or far enough advanced in on the server yet to be able to make the feasts myself. Look, I think somebody is here, but one of the other players on the server is, and so they've been. It's actually a Pendak, one of our players. He's been coming over to my base and delivering these beautiful feasts for us to enjoy. And oh my goodness, they're so awesome. They look amazing, and the way they work is great. Do you have any comments to add about the feasts, MD?
A couple.
Okay.
First of all, people were like, "Oh man, these are so expensive. Oh, wow, what's going on here?" No, they are discount food. They are so good.
And they last what, like 55 minutes or something?
50 minutes.
50 minutes, yeah.
So they last almost twice as long as some of the other foods. They have a beautiful animation as you eat from them. So every feast makes 10 meals. So, and the platter, I'm not going to say how, but it becomes altered as time goes on.
Yep. Yeah, they've actually done a lot more work to it than I thought they would put into it.
so good. And like the animation from eating from the platter is different than when you eat food from your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I have to say that they went above and beyond on this particular feature.
Yeah.
Also, I love the feature that they've added where Gwen decorating tables is going to completely change once you find the box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm more excited. Yeah, I'm excited about the features with the feast and what it does to like the durability of the food and so on. Especially when playing in big groups where like it's whoever's the base mom ends up just spending their day cooking, and it can be a bit tedious with how quickly the food just runs out when you're out on adventure.
Having a cooking skill so you get bonus food as your
Yes.
skill goes up. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
No,
that too.
there was someone I was watching who was crafting armor and they accidentally crafted 2 iron shields. And I think that's the thing, one of the things that they've changed, but I laughed so hard. I was like, "Oh yeah, that I don't think that's intended."
Yeah. Well, yeah. So with the new crafting skills, when you're crafting food, you have the chance, as your skill gets higher, to make extra food rather than just you hear this little like twinkle sound, like
yeah.
ting. And you have an extra item in your inventory. But they accidentally made it so that when you're crafting armor and weapons, you could accidentally get an extra weapon for, it takes all those materials to make that, and you get a second one. I made my first one and did I accidentally waste materials and make 2? And I looked over.
Yeah,
No, I still have all those materials, but I have 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's happened several times, but there is a patch on the PTB now that's they're going to fix that. So it's only supposed to apply to food. So make as many things as you can before the patch comes out, and they fix that if you want bonus weapons and armor, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, they got 16 new crafting materials. Yeah, go ahead, Gwen.
No, I was just going to say back to the feast bit and to what Morning Darkness was saying. So yeah, I'm excited about the feature itself, but I'm really excited, as you said, to be able to decorate tables without it taking hours of intricate placement of item stands and trying to layer the item stands so that the plate is actually sitting on the table and not hovering, a few pixels above it or sunk in the table and so on. Like I'm excited to see what those platters look like and to be able to actually, place them on tables and add that as part of decoration for your base.
I will say I've been working on a Victorian style build on my Monday night streams. And I just got the roof fully on and enclosed. It's not perfect, so I got to do tweaking, but it's like on now. But I decorated the table almost first thing right away. And it took 3 long tables side by side, clipped in together to fit all of the new feasts. And I do want to say one thing that people might have missed. There is a feast that hadn't unlocked initially for me because of a mechanic that I would like to mention that is not spoilery. So a thing that was not tracked as an event before, which was killing a sea serpent, is now tracked and as an event to be able to make one of the feasts. So if in a previous playthrough you have killed a serpent and then you go to the Bog Witch without having killed a serpent again, you will not have access to that feast until you go out and kill another serpent. So that's just an important little feature. Another important thing that they have warnings about and everything all over the place, but one of the really important things is that for eating a feast, if it has a stock of 10, if you eat from it, so it's 9 out of 10, and you try to pick the feast back up, you'll lose the whole thing. So just a couple of really important things that people might have not seen, might have missed, because some people, it can be blasted in front of them and they just don't see it. They have to hear it. So I just wanted to mention those 2 things.
Yeah.
That yeah, if you want to unlock one of the feasts, you got to kill a sea serpent and don't pick up a feast after you've eaten from it.
Okay, that's good. Good info for the newbies who have yet to experience that. Yeah, I haven't made any of them, but I have been eating from them. So yeah. Yeah, so 16 new crafting items, which I guess a lot of those are materials that you can obtain through the Bog Witch. And like as MD said, that some of them unlock as events happen, right? Like killing certain creatures and maybe killing bosses and stuff unlock more things on the Bog Witch. And then 8 new potions, which one of them in particular is kind of a bit of a troll against the players. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Yes, indeed. I've tested out all the potions at this point, so yeah.
Yeah. And three new items. Yeah, go ahead.
It does a lot more than just what you kind of can guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
it doesn't say what it does on the tin.
And
then when you try it once, you might get some idea of what it does, but I was actually talking to Azumat, and he was like, "Oh no, here's the list of things that it does. It is so much more than just attracting some love."
You're gonna have to tell me after we're done here because I don't know, and I'm curious. That actually sounds like a good video for those who might be interested, because it might not be completely obvious when you first get that potion what it does, and after you use it, you might be like, "This seemed like a waste," or it doesn't seem to do anything. But apparently it does do some things.
Indeed.
Yeah, so we got 3 new items of clothing, which I guess add some bonuses to things, which I'm not going to spoil. 3 new skills, which are basically like more for the homesteaders, right? Like non-combat skills to help with other things in the game that you would do around your base. 4 new build pieces, 2 new tools. One in particular, something that people have been asking for forever, is a way to mass harvest crops, right?
Yes.
And because you can mass harvest some crops with the what is it? The long halberd thing. What is that called? I always call it a halberd, but in the game
Scythe?
They call it.
No, it's not the Scythe.
No.
That would be the real name.
The Scythe is
Adgeir.
The Adgeir, right? So the Adgeir you can harvest like some of the plains crops with, but not like carrots and turnips and onions and things. But then now they added a Scythe, so you can finally mass harvest everything with a big swipe, which is awesome.
I have to say though, it's a little bit weird. I have some gripes about this.
Yeah.
So it allows you to mass harvest the things that you would want it for, that you've been using the Adgeir for, which are the flax and the barley. But it also allows you to mass harvest with the same swipe the carrots, the turnips, and the onions.
Yep.
Which, a little weird, but I like it, so I'm not complaining. However, it does not allow you to mass harvest the mushrooms. And I feel like there's a consistency issue there. Either let us mass harvest all of the farmable crops, or make it make sense and don't let it harvest the carrots, onions, and turnips. But like, now that you've given it to us, don't take that away.
I can also see the logic of like, you pick mushrooms, right? It's a different. You have to hand pick them.
Turnips and onions too.
Yeah, they're buried in the ground, right? Like hitting it with a scythe doesn't really make sense.
No, it does not.
It's a magic scythe. It pulls them up out of the ground, but not mushrooms for some reason. Yeah. Well, maybe that's just something they didn't consider because it wasn't like a plantable crop. But maybe if somebody brings it to their attention, and they're fans of the podcast and they hear this, something to consider.
No, it's funny. I did ask one of the devs. I was like, "Hey, so is this intended?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's intended to be this way." And I was like, And he's like, "I'm not the person who designed it. Don't blame me."
Yeah.
But yeah, like I do feel as though they need to either add the mushrooms to be something that the scythe can do, which I think is the more appropriate step, or if they're going for realism with the mushrooms, then they need to update the other things, which I don't want that. I am not advocating for that.
Yeah.
However, I feel like it just kind of feels like a bad planning or oversight in its
Mm.
current state.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a criticism. I'm not trying to like bash on it. I love the game. I think it's,
Yeah.
you know, I think this update is phenomenal. That's just one of those things where my brain is like, oh, come on. Come on.
Well, yeah, and like even like those small bushes, it seems to make more sense that a scythe could like whack out those small bushes as you run around. Have you tried hitting a small bush with it?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't do anything, huh?
I will say that my favorite thing though is that I have some cloudberries scattered in with my barley fields, and it doesn't cut down the cloudberries either.
Oh.
Um
Yeah, so as you're running around hitting everything, you have to go back and pick all that stuff because it doesn't
Right.
catch them. Yeah.
But it also means that I don't destroy my cloudberry bushes now that I can use the scythe and not hurt any build pieces. It's like using the butcher's knife. So I do have to say I like the features of it, and I think that since it can't cut down the bushes or the cloudberries, I actually think that that's a big feature. That's a big plus. But yeah.
Well, because if you use the at gear, it would destroy your cloudberry picks, right?
Oh yeah, no,
and they
I've
won't
had to
grow
handpick-
back.
I've had to handpick that area up until this point.
So yeah, I mean that's probably another reason why like they didn't want it to destroy the non-plantable pickables. It doesn't.
Huge bonus. I think that that's a great feature. I'm delighted that that's what's going on there.
Yeah. And also they added 3 new emotes, and now obviously we're not going to show them to spoil them, but do you want to describe what they are? Do you remember what they are, MD? Because I forget off the top of my head.
Yes.
I tested them all, but I don't remember. But while you're looking at it, they also added 1 new event, which of course we're not going to spoil because when it happens to you, it should be a surprise, right?
Right.
The new event.
Yeah, the event. Oh god, it's so good. So one of them is that you can like lounge, like actually like lie down, and you're like on your side. It's cute. You can actually be in a different position than just trying to sit or laying down on a bed. So I do like that. Let me try to remember, what are the other
Yeah.
oh gosh, because I haven't really played with them as much.
Oh yeah, so that's the one that's called relax, right?
That's
relax. Lean back, take it easy, ideal for chilling by the fire after a long journey. The other one is rest, to have your Viking sit in a more comfortable resting position. Perfect for taking a break.
Toast.
Yeah, toast.
Right. The other one is
raise a celebratory drink with your crew after a successful adventure or a big win.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those are fun.
Yeah. I remember we always like during our events or at the end of an event, we like to, pull out our mugs and I'll have a drink, but now we can actually raise it and do a toast before taking our drink. So that's cool.
Exactly. So yeah, those are fun. So
cool. So when can people see you streaming on my server, Gwen? Or is streaming something you're not doing? You're just using it as your relaxation personal time, like I have been lately, because I haven't been streaming my playthrough either.
Yeah, I wanted to start chill because it was kind of my rekindling with the game, and also because I think everyone's seen the first couple of volumes a million times, but now that I've been thinking of starting to stream when I get closer to the Bog Witch, because that would be quite cool to show. I've just been traveling a lot and frankly quite busy with Val-Con. So I've had to
Yeah.
leave streaming and content creation a bit to the side while I focus on that. And I've been just logging in, an hour at a time here and there to play Valheim. So not consistent, not a block of time consistent enough for streaming. But yes, it is my intention to actually start streaming now that I'm getting closer to the swamps. It will probably happen in early December. I've got a few more things in the next week I'll be away essentially, so I won't be able to stream. But yeah, I think around Thanksgiving time for our US listeners is when I will have a bit more downtime to actually stream and stuff like that. So I will.
That's just like next week.
Yes, I know. But I'll be traveling in 3 different countries between now and then. As long as well as all the Val-Con stuff. So
Yep.
Awesome.
And then my Nomad run, we're calling it the Oregon Trailheim run.
Ah.
It's a lightly modded themed Nomad run. We just found the Bog Witch last Friday.
Oh, nice. What did you have to explore a lot of swamps, or did you get lucky and kind of earlier on in your exploration?
So we had explored 3 swamps before the update actually happened. But it's a really, really big continent. So the very next swamps that we passed by, like I wasn't even in the swamps, we were in the plains across the water, and we're just running along the coast, and the Bog Witch popped up. So we actually were able to run around the continent to the swamp and go get to her pretty quick. So we got pretty lucky. But so far we're not allowed to use boats because we haven't killed the Yagluth yet.
Oh, is that like a rule you guys set for yourselves?
Yeah, we have limited portals. We are not allowed to build any permanent storage, and we're not allowed to build any permanent buildings except for a farm.
So you're like nomads.
Yeah.
Constantly on the move.
And we're using 2 mods. One is called Odin's Campsite. So we get to build like a little tent that pops up. And the other one is the crafty carts that Azumat has been maintaining. And he actually has been watching our run and was like, oh, you guys want a food cart? Okay. So he made us like a cauldron cart. And the crafty carts are basically, it's a workbench that's covered with storage on it. And so it's been really delightful.
Cool. Yeah. That's a great thing about mods is they add such a new experience that you can set up like what you're doing, like a whole different challenge for yourselves. So, say we're not going to do this, this, or this, and we're going to see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's super fun. All right. Well, keep your eyes out for Val-Con information. And I think that's going to do it for this episode. Thanks for joining me, you two.
Thanks for having us. As usual.
Yeah, thanks.
That's it for
guys.
Yeah. No, it's been too long, especially since that last episode didn't make it out.
I know.
Anyways, that's it for now. Have fun out there.
Bye.
Bye.